Hello, as usual it's me Pavlo, and today let's talk about FiiO's FD11. For those who are still unfamiliar with their new numbering system, FD11 doesn't mean that it's a flagship that is better than FD7, it means that it's entry-level model and it's first in that line. So sometime in the future we'll see FD21, FD31 and so on. And FD11 means that it's a really affordable model. In the past we've got FiiO's FD1, but this one is targeted even a bit towards more affordable segment. Its retail price is about $40. There was some discount for the first buyers on FiiO's AliExpress, but most likely by the moment when this review will be out, that sale will be over. Anyway, price is really good, and even based on the description on the FiiO's website, link will be in this video description. So they put a lot of effort here, because here used 10mm dynamic driver with carbon-based diaphragm, with asymmetric magnetic system, with spatial acoustic treatment, dual cavity, C-shaped tube, and so on. So FiiO did their best. Moreover, they made this model with replaceable cable, and shells are made of zinc alloys. So I don't know what to wish more in this price segment. Even based on specs, they are already jumping out of this segment. But let's have a closer look. So it's a traditional FiiO's new style package. I'm still more a fan of old style. Maybe in 10 years I will be complaining about changing this style to something else. So box is fairly simple in terms of organization, but of course that's obviously to keep price at the more affordable level. And in the accessory set we've got earpieces themselves, and cable, and another two pair of tips. So as you can see, accessory set is pretty basic, but this time FiiO definitely decided to simplify set of accessories and instead give you a better design and sound. And I must admit, in terms of design, at least to my taste, it's definitely overcoming this segment, because it looks really solid, it feels really nicely built, it looks really attractive with this mirror-like polishing. It gathered fingerprints a little bit, but actually it's not even a big issue here, so actually not a big issue. In terms of fitting, they are pretty comfortable, at least to my ears. They have really good long spout, providing slightly above passive sound isolation, and I like this long spout fitting deeply into ear. With proper ear tips it can stay reliably well. And there is a lip for holding the tips, of course, and the protective grill, so everything is on the place. And nice glass covered faceplate with some kind of pattern. I wonder why FiiO didn't put their logo here, just some, I don't know, some flower-like pattern, but it looks nice under the light and really stylish. So as you can see, zero complaints here, and it's pretty obvious that they put effort in the sound tuning, because here is one vent hole and here is another vent hole, so some sophisticated schema is used inside. So let's put the tip back. Cable is made replaceable, and some people complained about it because FiiO here used a bit unusual 2-pin connectors. So they are classical 2-pin, but in recessed circular, but circuit is recessed in this circular body, so not many 2-pin connectors available on the market with fitting such shell. But let's be honest, I don't think that someone will be seriously cable rolling these earphones, and in terms of durability I am kind of sure that FiiO will sell replacement cables for this. They look really attractive. you see nice flash fit, color coding of left and right, and the stock cable is really nice. There are ear hooks, but they are not super rigid. Cable itself pretty soft, not like super soft, but on the softer side of things. Here is the splitter, no chin slider because there is almost no microphonics. And then it goes down braided to 3.5mm angle jack. So all exterior part is really pleasantly overwhelming. And of course about the sound, I don't know will you be surprised or not, but actually they sound really good, and for their price even great. I've burned them in for about 48 hours, and there were slight changes in the beginning. Sound became a bit more weighty and a bit less thin, so sound became more balanced. But of course, traditionally for the single dynamic driver earphones, most important is to find some tips that will give you a proper fit, and some tip rolling could be a great idea with these earphones to achieve the results that you'd like. FiiO decided to go to the traditional V-shaped tuning, but not overdo it, because they wanted to create also a model with good technicalities, and they also succeed here. So bass is accented, but not too much. It's not bass heavy model, but bass has enough presence to build the foundation for the tune, to give the body for the instruments, and so on. Depending on tip selection, it can be rather on the faster side of things and being slightly dry, or if you get tips with really good steel, you'll get more weight, but still in terms of speed it will be normal. Of course, not comparing to something more expensive like from $100 and so, but pretty nice, well balanced low frequencies, not too much, not too few, with good representation of textures, and suiting basically all genres and styles, both for like live instruments and synthesized low frequencies. And as an example, here is Deep Purple, made in Japan, and Smoke on the Water. It overall sounds really good thanks to pretty decent mids and staging of these earphones. But here, of course, that lovely bass that appears after some time from the start of the track, definitely a star of the show, and these earphones represented nice with good body and with good sense of actually pleasance, I'd say, because it's like kind of a ASMR moment for me when that bass appears. Mid frequencies are a bit recessed, comparing of course to lows and treble, but I can't say that they are shadowed by bass or moved somewhere to the second stage. They are present, and it demonstrates the strong part of single dynamic driver models tuning. These earphones are really coherent, and you definitely not getting that sense of two different drivers stitched together. Instead, the bass transition to mids really nicely and fluidly. Mids are resolving, but not trying to go far into micro contrast. Normal amount of details. What else? Good dynamics when it's present in the record, but it should be present actually in the record, so better material will give better results with them. I really like that additional crispness for the female vocal, and for a lot of instruments like distorted guitars, for example. Some low male vocals sometimes lacking a bit of weight for me, but it's more of nitpicking, I'd say. They also are really efficient in building imaginary stage. Of course, it's not like super three-dimensional, but pretty wide, above average in width, and about average or slightly above average in depth, but with good positioning and instruments with proper amount of air between everything and so on. So basically nice option even for complex pieces of music like orchestral or something like that. But of course we still speaking about their price range. And here is example. And you know, actually I tried different tracks from my media library, and this one is just suiting perfectly to these earphones, absolutely. Ram it down, that tight impactful drums thanks to good bass here, nice guitars thanks to that slight elevation in the upper mids and that accent that gives them a bit of aggression, and nice vocal thanks to the good overall mid representation, and that all like mixed together in really good representation, nicely fitting this track requirements. And treble, it's accented to compensate bass, but actually it doesn't sound sharp to me. Probably it's some of that inner acoustic magic that FiiO used, some of that resonance chambers or something like that, but actually treble is energetic, nicely detailed with good extension, but at the same time it doesn't sound too fatiguing, at least to me. If you're super sensitive for the treble, it still can be too much for you, but in general I like the balance here. It's not too sharp and not too soft. Attacks are a bit on the slower side of things compared to average, but in general still good with saturating with overtones, giving nice sense of airness. And as an example here, Marillion Going Under, nice track, a bit underlooked band to me, and stellar fish vocal, that percussion, their signature sound, and all of that requires nice treble performance, which this earphones gives. Of course, it won't be, once again, 100% perfect disclosure or like perfect representation of this track, but really good level of performance to enjoy this music. Speaking about pairings, probably you know they can benefit from some simple digital to analog converter, and of course FiiO KA1 is the first one that comes to mind. They are working together really nice, and it gives a nice level of detailization to allow them to show their strong sides. And speaking about the comparisons, what we've got, just few models, of course, I can't remember everything. So FD1 is more natural, more sharper compared to FD11, so this model is more balanced, and because of that sounds more natural and like more realistic, so it's a noticeable step forward here. And JD7 that I reviewed some time ago, it's also a step forward from this model. They are a bit more refined on the mids and has a bit more like better developed treble. Both models are far from being perfect, of course, but JD7 is a slight step forward in this aspect. There are a lot of hybrid models here, but hybrids will be different with that armature focus on the micro contrast, more uneven treble, less coherence, and so on. Also, there are a lot of different dynamic driver models here, but as usual, when I'm starting doing comparisons, I can't recall them, so you can ask in the comment section of this review. I will be happy to answer if I tested some other models. Meanwhile, really good model to like buy them for yourselves as a pair of spare earphones, like to use on the street or something like that, or as a gift for someone who likes music but didn't get addicted to this all audiophilia. So FiiO really made a good model. Thank you for listening, thank you for your attention, and of course have a great day.